And they wound up taking me to the hospital. It turned out she'd given me the wrong pills, tried to kill me. But it didn't work. And I'm still here. Still kicking. Oh, and I should show off this book.
Yeah.
Farley Mowat, the author. No, none of my stories are embellished, honestly. They're all totally 100% true. Yeah, even the story about even that one, totally true. It really happened just that way. One time, this guy came to town. His name was Richie Cole. He came for the jazz festival. He was a visiting guest artist. So I hung out with him for a little bit there and watched his life a little, and it was crazy. He could play. Wow. Wow, could he play. Richie Cole. I don't know whatever happened to him. Probably died of AIDS or something. They lived such a he lived a crazy life. Anyway, well, there are stories about Richie Cole, but most of them can't be told. They would be X-rated stories. He used to play in a band called Peach and the Pits. I was a pit. Peach was this crazy guy from Newport or Priest River. He played the guitar and sang, and he was a serious talent. He was very good, naturally talented. But he was ugly. He looked like Roy Orbison, only worse. Big, thick glasses. So he always felt very self-conscious about that. Well, one time we were playing, and I had the band going, and we played this Battle of the Bands in Spokane, and we came in like third place or something. So as a part of the third place deal, they give you this record contract down in Hollywood. So we're all excited, the rest of the band, we're all standing out in the parking lot afterwards, and we're all talking over how exciting it was going to be to go to Hollywood. And Peach comes out and he says, guys, I think I'm going to move down to Lewiston and play some country music. And we just our eyes popped out, and, he didn't want to be a star. And I think my personal opinion was it was his appearance. He was bothered by that. He didn't want to have to show up and have people look at him. Anyway, that was the end of that. My big chance at stardom, gone. The title of the book is The Boat Who Wouldn't Float. It's about a boat and Farley Mowat. You seen Cher lately? No. Because
she's like 100.
She's an ugly sight, I'm sure. The trick there is sort of like Michael Jackson. You want to die before you start to look too bad. Well, let's see, what other stories? What stories did you want to hear? What are we doing here anyway? I have a life of my own, I don't know if you thought of that, but I have my own life, and here it is, and it's going downhill fast now. I gotta get all I can out of it. Yes, sirree. My next step here this morning, I've had food to eat. uh, my next step will be to go into the shower where you won't be allowed to follow me. You don't want to make that kind of movie.
Okay, the heart attack happened. I was having a party and we were drinking wine and having cheese and crackers and stuff. And I hear the phone ring, and Mark, the phone was just like this space age sound. And I just heard it. I mean, it was really loud, but I heard it, and he goes, I'm having really bad chest pain and I'm sweating really bad. And then his voice fell off the phone. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you're having a heart attack. He'd been Googling chest pain and sweating instead of calling 911. And then he calls me. So we went outside and watched the helicopter come and watched him get loaded up in the helicopter on the roof of Gritman. Annie and I frantically got our stuff together and started driving up to Spokane. And I didn't know. I thought, I didn't know that if I was going to be a widow or what. They'd gone in and put a stent in because he had 100% blockage in his heart. I mean, he was like almost dead. So it was really bad. It was really bad. He really was never the same since.
I have a record, a 45 RPM record at my studio there that I've been wanting to transcribe to digital, but I'm having a problem with that for some reason. I've got a turntable that will run 45 RPM, and I can put this record on there, but I haven't figured out how to get out of the turntable and into something else, an amplifier or something. I really would like to do it though, because the record is going to go away somewhere and be lost, and I'd like to have the recording. It was from Peach in the Pits, when I was drumming with Peach in the Pits, and it was the good stuff. There were 2 songs on this record. One of them was called Sometimes It's Happening. And in those days, sometimes it happened. So this song that Peach had written, I guess, Sometimes It's Happening, it was the stupidest thing. But I can't even play it now because I don't have the right record set up. Anyway, I'd like to record that. I will get that done somehow before I die. Everything has to be done before I die, because when you're dead, nobody's going to do it for you. They don't even know what it was all about. Here we go. Now I'm coming into the garage. Ooh, ouch. Ooh. No, oh. I have here some carb cleaner. Goes good on clean your lens real good. Yeah. I like models, I really am anxious to build this because this is a flying model kit with a rubber band, So I'm going to build those. And then, of course, I've got my boat here, which I'm always working on. I'm right now getting ready to paint a stripe. Actually, it's a sailboat I always wanted to build, so I thought I would build a model of it first that would help me understand how it's built. Well, I haven't ever gotten to the real boat because the model has eaten up all my life. And the model's nowhere near done. But it's pretty fun. And it's a pretty cute looking little model. Turn it over here. Oh, and then, well, we're talking fun stuff. Guns. Nothing more fun than guns, especially if they're loaded, like this one is. 45. We're not kidding here, Buster. I can just hardly wait for somebody to try and break into my home so that I can shoot them with this. Boy, oh boy, would this ever leave a hole. Anyway, when I was a kid, my dad was ham radio operator, but he was mostly did code, and also we talked back and forth. He lived up in Sand Point, and we would talk back and forth on a regular schedule every week. I don't play around with it very much here anymore, but it's there. This picture was drawn by my son Michael, I think. Oh yeah. It says to Dad from Buggy. Buggy was our nickname for Michael. And it's a jet airplane, and here's a parachute guy coming down. He and I are real close. He's all grown up, and he doesn't have children, and I kind of doubt if they will have children. He is with this woman who's not into it, which is too bad. Now, my older son, John, he has one boy, and I don't know if he'll ever have more than that. And of course, Annie got oodles of children, you know. So, girls are different, you know. Here's my black powder, very important. You must have a lot of black powder when you have a cannon. When you've got a cannon, you have to have black powder for it. And there is the cannon. You know, it's fun for shooting, you know, like the neighbor's dog and stuff. Ugh. Yeah, I don't do that very often, though. Anyway, we were going for this. Becca and whatever his name is, Nathan, and I forget. Oh no, these are my kids here, so I would know them normally. All right, I'll take this out of here, and I'm going to take a nap.
When he was in the hospital and down here, he had kind of a vision of heaven. He said he saw this kind of membrane, and he knew that he would passed through. And on the other side, it was just wonderful. And he was forgiven for everything he'd done. And I mean, it was just this wonderful kind of just little vision. But he knew that we were all on the other side of the membrane. But it wasn't like he had control. But, you know, like the see through a veil darkly and then we see face to face kind of thing. But after he had that heart attack, he just he's not afraid to die at all.
Wow. California is burning. Wow, wow, wow. Here's a guy who, he came here from one of the South Sea islands, I forget, Mauritius in the South Sea. And he was graduating college from WSU, and he got a hold of me and said he wanted a special photo of himself, you know, a graduation picture. So he brought all of his regalia here, including his flowery thing, and we set him up. And I shot these, and these were shot on 4x5 black and white film with a big camera and everything. And I forget why, but I turned the lights off in the studio so it was totally black. And I just popped the strobe to, I forget why I was doing that. But anyway, I took these pictures, just a couple of them. He went off, I processed the film, he was gone, and I discovered I had this great picture of him, but his eyes were closed. Now, this is not it, because his eyes are open here, but actually, those are not his eyes. I looked at that, and it was a perfect picture, except his eyes were closed. So I thought about it a while, and and finally I found this picture of her. Not this one, but a different one, and her eyes looked just right. So I went into the darkroom, took her eyes off, and put them on him, and now he looks perfect. And you'd never know, and no one ever did, because I never showed that to anybody. Well, except you guys, and you can't. Don't tell now. Don't be telling them. Is the very record I was talking about. Oh yeah, two songs on it. Sometimes It's Happening and Tony. Very cool stuff, huh? We made this. I don't know. I've never made much money. I've never thought much about the money. Sometimes the money just comes in, and sometimes it doesn't. And there you go. No, I've done things for money a lot. I mean, that's kind of the business I'm in. But it's never been big money. It's always been little money. For me, the most important thing is to enjoy it, to like what you're doing, to get something other than money. It's the satisfaction out of it. And usually I do. Yeah, and we've only just begun.